Hey everyone, this is going to be the first video in the series that I'm going to make because there's so many shows out there, and at any one given time I'm watching like 50 different shows, maybe more, who knows, many anyway. I've watched so many in the past that have finished by now, and very often I talk about shows and things with my friends, and often enough I hear people asking and saying like, what to watch today. Oh, do you have any new series to recommend? Do you have any old series to recommend? Anything I have missed in TV? And I keep having same conversations with different people about the shows. So from now on, I'm just going to send a link to some of the episodes of what I'm actually recommending and why. And over time, obviously, if you're not my friend originally, if you don't have the same taste in series, you can find out yourself if we have the same taste, and if we do, then keep watching these episodes of that thing here in YouTube to find out what I'm recommending to watch once you're done with one of the shows. And of course, leave the comments down below about the shows that you're watching, if they're the same ones that I have mentioned in this episode, and how you liked it. How do you like them? There's going to be quite a variety of the shows that I'm recommending, because of course not everybody watches all sorts of shows. Some people like action, some people like sci-fi, some people like comedy, history shows, nature shows, reality TV, programs that are made up of the news, quiz shows, and I'm one of these people that watches them all. Depending on the mood, there's always something great to put on. And of course, therefore, my recommendations are also from wall to wall. Not everything that I like, you like. Not everything that you like, I like. But I'm going to give kind of ideas of what to watch today. If you have gotten to that crossroad where you just do not know what to watch next. The first series that I'm going to recommend is Travelers. It's quite little known sci-fi series. It always surprises me when I mention that, because people usually don't know it. It has 3 seasons. It finished in December 2018, and at the moment anyway there is no word of them coming back, but hey, here's hoping. It's different, it's outside of the box sci-fi. There's nothing that I can really compare it to, even though elements of ones can always be found in others. But imagine that future people, like hundreds of years from now, that they have pinpointed the time in the world's history where everything started going wrong and inevitably led to the end of the world. They pinpointed that time, and because their technology and advantages had made them to be able to actually travel back to that point, they did that. And this is about travelers. These people are called travelers. They are hundreds of years from the future, and they're traveling back, taking the, well, that is wrong to say, not taking the body of somebody, because they know by historical records when somebody died, they travel into these bodies when these people were supposed to die, which means that these people didn't die, because that moment their consciousness was taken over by the consciousness of a person sent back from the future. And there was a group of people like that. So travelers had to come back, start. The first show that I want to recommend is relatively little known, Travelers. It's a sci-fi series, and I'm always surprised when people have never heard of it, because I think that it's one of the best sci-fi series of that kind out there. It's about the people called travelers that are from our future, hundreds of years into the future. It's an American-Canadian show, 3 seasons of it. And imagine that well into the future, people actually pinpoint the time when world started going wrong, and when was the point from which the world had actually reached the point of no return, which inevitably leads to the end of the world. And in the future they have found out the way how to send somebody's consciousness to somebody else's body that dies. So they're sending group of people back to try and change the events that eventually led to the end of the world. This is going to be their secret mission, and they're being sent back, their consciousness is sent back to people's bodies that were supposed to die at some time in the past, at the time when they arrived. So that led to these people not actually dying, because yes, the original person died, but because of the body and the consciousness that were taken over by the travelers, they still remained there physically. Travelers had to take over their entire life and in secret work on mission together to prevent the end of the world disasters. Things that, small changes even, that eventually led to the end of the world. So that was their mission, and the actors in this are absolutely super. The plot is brilliant. The instances and actions, everything, all the troubles that they're getting into, even the way that they were sending people back. Imagine you're going to be sent back to somebody's life that lived so long time ago in nowadays world, and you don't really know their friends, their life, what they like, so you have to pretend to be them while saving the world, and you still have to carry on with your daily things. But the trouble is, even though in the future they knew when these people died, whose bodies they took over, they actually never knew the inside out what their lives were like. For example, imagine one of them got sent back to a body of a girl that had speech impediment. She couldn't really speak, but from the moment that the body was taken over by the traveler, she could. And how many troubles that created, because she still had to pretend to be the person that this body was before. But anyway, other than that, one moment, just something to switch off here on my screen. Anyway, it's well worth a watch. I could easily say that watch first episode. If you like first episode, you will like the whole of it. If you do not like first episode, you really don't like it. Sometimes it takes 3 episodes to get really into some new show. In this one, you really can decide on after first episode if you like it or not. So, happy watching, and let me know if you liked it, and if you have already seen it, let me know if you liked it too. The second show that I'm recommending is Gavin and Stacey. Gavin and Stacey is a British comedy. It's an absolute British comedy staple and must watch if you haven't seen it yet. It has been one of the most popular British comedies in the last 17 years, so likelihood is that you have already seen it. Hey, there's time to rewatch it maybe. But it's an absolutely hilarious show, and I cannot recommend it enough. It feels like all these characters were written for people that played them. There's title characters, Gavin and Stacey, and people that are connected to them. There's not a huge cast, but there's a brilliant cast. There's their families, say for example, 2 friends, their best friends, Smithy and Nessa, that are played by Ruth Jones and James Gordon, who also co-wrote this show. So the lines are brilliant. James Gordon and Ruth Jones have such a witty, humorous, hilarious, crazy, out-of-the-box writing that it must make you laugh. And yet at the same time the characters are quite relatable. And you kind of know somebody that is a little bit like a person in the show. They, all the characters in Gavin and Stacey themselves are a couple who madly fell in love, and therefore now their families are connected, meeting each other and all that. Also their best friends who seemingly hate each other, but do they really? Kind of don't. So it's a story with so many twists and turns, and as I said, the writing is brilliant. There are so many great actors and actresses in it. And there's also Rob Brydon, who plays Stacey's Uncle Bryn, a person that is so far from technology that nowadays you could not be further. Well, you could, but not really. He's thinking that World Wide Web is great invention while everybody else has been using it already for 10 years. He's thinking car GPS is something that is worth shouting about, and he's constantly displaying his amazement on the simplest things that nowadays have become part of everyone's everyday life, but for him they're all new because he's just discovering them now. Or Gavin's parents, they are a brilliant pair of actors. They are just like, you have to watch it. I could go on forever. I could go on forever for about every one of them, but it's just a must see. Nessa, the character that is played by Ruth Jones, and that is Stacey's best friend, has stories that you just could not make up or you couldn't believe about her life. And you're always wondering, is she just saying these things or did these things actually happen to her? Well, you'll find out in the end of the series because it is told there and said there. But anyway, have great fun watching this show. If you need laughter, if you need a new comedy to watch, this is the one to go for if you haven't seen it yet. So let me know if you liked it after you have watched it, and if you have already watched it, let me know now. And I know, last one was the comedy, and so is this one. I'll come back to all sorts of different shows in the next episodes, but hey, laughter is good, and we all need laughter. If you like absolutely whacked out crazy comedies, then this is the one to go for. The good thing about Good Place is there's 4 seasons. The series finished earlier this year, but that means that there's plenty for you to binge watch through if you like it. I'd say give it 3 episodes for it to grow on you and for you to understand what the hell is going on. The main character wakes up in the place called the Good Place, and apparently she's there because she had been such a good person in her lifetime, collected enough points because there's a rating system for your time on Earth, and gotten into the good place instead of the bad place down below in hell. So she knows that she should not be in the good place because she had not done any of these good things that they said that she had. And she reckoned that it must be a different person of the same name who had to be there. Not wanting to go to the bad place though, she keeps up the pretense of being that person. So all the characters that she's put together with in the good place, in the place that was designed exactly for them, with everything that they love in life, supposedly. Good place. Anything you can imagine that you love in the same place. Sounds good. This series is absolutely crazy. People there get into so many twists and turns, and maybe the good place isn't good place at all. Maybe it's a crazy place. Find out yourself. This is a lot of crazy for you to watch, and seriously, do not give up after episode 2 or episode 3 when you're suddenly going like, what is going on here? Just take it with a great comedy mind on you, great laughter on you, and just think, okay, what if it is possible? And then it all falls in the good line, and you're gonna get so many good jokes and so many good laughs out of it. So let me know if you liked it. And also, I see you in the next episode of that. Let me know if what kind of TV series you're watching. I would like to know what's my viewership, as in how many people like comedies, how many people like sci-fi, how many are nature or cooking enthusiasts. Because as I said, there's going to be all sorts of different shows in the future episodes after this one. See you again. Bye.